Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury, may it please the court, there was no bribe. In October of 2014, the Midlands Gambling Commission announced that they were ready to seek proposals to issue a new casino license in Midlands. The Midlands Gambling Commission is a board made up of 3 members, appointed by the governor of Midlands himself. Throughout the selection process, only 2 proposals came to the desk of the commission. One of those proposals coming from Avery Bancroft, the owner of the most popular casino in Midlands, the Black Bear Casino. And the other proposal coming from Shannon Stark in cooperation with J.C. Longstreet. Shannon Stark? Well, she's just a local professional poker player in Midlands. And J.C. Longstreet's amusement park had recently been shut down for gaming violations. On April the 17th, the Midlands Gambling Commission voted to approve that new casino license to Avery Bancroft. My client, Chase Covington, he was one of the commissioners who voted for Avery Bancroft's proposal. Now, the reason that we are here today is because the prosecution would like you to believe that Chase Covington accepted a bribe from Avery Bancroft to vote for Ms. Bancroft's proposal. But members of the jury, this is not true. There was no bribe. My client, Chase Covington, he voted for Ms. Bancroft's proposal simply because she had the better proposal and she had the better business experience to successfully run a casino in Midlands. Now, in today's case, the prosecution, they bear the sole burden of proof today. They must prove each and every element of their burden beyond a reasonable doubt. In this case, the prosecution's burden has 3 elements. The first element of the prosecution's burden is they must prove that Chase Covington is a public official. This is the only element of the prosecution's burden that we as the defense will not be contesting in today's case. As for the other 2 elements, the prosecution will be unable to prove those 2 elements because the evidence will not show it because there was no bribe. But as for the other 2 elements, the second element the prosecution must prove is they must prove that Chase Covington received something of value or benefit in return for being influenced in the performance of an official act. And finally, their third element, they must prove that Chase Covington acted with intent to be influenced in the performance of an official act. Members of the jury, I must remind you that the prosecution's burden of beyond a reasonable doubt, that is the highest burden in our legal system. This is the hardest, most challenging burden to prove, and the prosecution will fail to meet that burden today simply because there was no bribe. As the defense in today's case, we will be calling 3 witnesses here before you. The first witness that we will call is a bellhop from the Black Bear Casino, Devin Del Sesto. Mr. Del Sesto will tell you about some of the events that she's seen going on around the casino leading up to the vote by the Gambling Commission to approve a new casino license to her boss, Avery Bancroft. The second witness we will call today is a dealer from the Black Bear Casino, Allie Thomas. Miss Allie Thomas will tell you about how she was the closest one to the table that Mr. Bancroft and Miss Bancroft and Mr. Covington were playing at on April 16th, where the prosecution's alleged bribe took place. She will tell you that she never saw Avery Bancroft or Chase Covington switch briefcases the entire time they were at her table playing poker. The last and final witness we will be calling here before you today is my client, Mr. Chase Covington himself. He will come before you and he will tell you why he voted for Ms. Bancroft's casino proposal. He will tell you that Ms. Bancroft was the more experienced candidate and that she had the better proposal. Members of the jury, there was no bribe. At the end of today's trial, my co-counsel, Will Rogers, he will come before you and he will ask that you find the defendant not guilty because the evidence in this case will show that there was no bribe. Thank you.